till date, I know of people that still believe that salt and water worked for them. Efforts are being made actually to curtail the spread of false information, but people in these communities don't even know. People are still misinformed.
Is when we've moved from the traditional media, that's the radio, the TV, where you just have to get pure news from the radio or the TV. But now social media has actually, it's just like a two-edged sword.
Teaching us how to hack accounts, how people could hack your account, how they can spread information and stay like anonymous. You wouldn't know who this person is.
The government has a role to play in this. We also as individuals also have roles to play in this.
Access to truth is continuing to reduce. It reduces as time goes on.
The major source of fake news is actually the social media. Hey guys, welcome to Timeline once again. It's been a lovely roll so far since the beginning of this particular season. I'm very sure you're enjoying yourself. And don't forget to spread the word, share, like, subscribe as well. My name is Paul, and with me here today is
Joan.
And also we have in the building the beautiful voice of Rejoice Taddy.
Thank you.
Welcome, my sister. You look so beautiful, my dear.
Thank you.
It's so demure, so classic.
It's okay. Don't overdo it now.
Serious.
What if our husband is looking at? Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Exactly. So
Not yet.
That does not mean
so
you should shoot your
demure.
shot.
So
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
well, today we're talking about a very interesting topic. It's commonly referred to as fake news, but we call it information disorder. And that's because it refers to all of the set of information that are being sent either falsely with harm to others, and it can be categorized into three, which is disinformation, malinformation, and also misinformation. UNESCO has said that information disorder has a very great impact and is also a threat to democracy, our health, and also public safety. So, Rejoice, can you help us break it down? Because all of this is now is just big English, right? So how do we even differentiate between disinformation, malinformation, and then misinformation?
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And I'll start by talking about information disorder itself before I go to differentiating what those other things are. So I'll start by using the definition that the International Development Center for Strategic Studies defined information disorder as. And it says that just a simple definition, they call it an unfounded conspiracy theories. That is unfounded conspiracy theories that are generated from uncertainty, distortion, disregard, or dismay, which is just targeted at misleading people. But then for a layman to just understand what information disorder is, we'll just describe it as the cap for the information ecosystem that talks about how when information is distorted, when there's something that affects the information ecosystem, then the information ecosystem becomes
disrupted.
is disrupted, and then so there's information disorder. So let me proceed to fake news, misinformation, and disinformation
And malinformation.
Well, generally, the categorization, the one I know of, is misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. But then for fake news, that terminology, fact checkers and experts in the field don't usually like referring to fake news as part of how they would describe anything around information disorder, because that particular word became popular in 2016 during Donald Trump's election campaign. And then when people were sending out false narratives, he started describing them as fake news. But then experts in this field do not believe that fake news should be the name, because as people, as journalists, as fact checkers, as people that are trying to promote truth, saying that this is fake news. It's more like
it's myopic. It's not like
it's myopic.
It's not eating the point.
Yeah, so okay, this is it. This is fake and this is news.
Yes.
So news, we always know news for truth. When we talk about news, you are spreading information about this thing that's happening and
like
factual.
that.
So how would you attach fake to news? So other than that, there are other names for it and categorizations for it. That's where we now find misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So people don't really focus on malinformation because you rarely find it everywhere. But then misinformation and disinformation is there. So starting with misinformation. Misinformation is when the actors share information without the intention of misleading people. It is not in any way a negative motive attached to it. There's no negative motive. This person just hops on WhatsApp, sees a post or Facebook or anywhere. Like our parents, they are on this particular group and someone just sent this post and they said, "You're going to die tomorrow." During the Ebola time, you see what happened. They send it, and that was how people started using salt to do this and that to treat themselves, so that they wouldn't get Ebola. So that is misinformation. But then disinformation, which is what we are seeing more and more every day, it keeps on. Like actors keep propagating it, not just in Nigeria and Africa, but even outside the country. We see more of it now. It is when these actors do it intentionally. You wake up this morning, you fabricate a photo of Tinubu and say that Tinubu went out to treat himself of cancer. You put him in a hospital, change his face and put on somebody's head and say that this is Tinubu, and people will believe actually. You go out there with the intention of misleading people. And that is what we keep on saying more and more every day.
And then malinformation.
Malinformation is when information that is supposed to be private is brought out and is used to I wouldn't say it is used to
sabotage.
Not sabotage. When
it has the intent to harm the individual, like for example, now you say to use Tinubu, for example, let's say that he's running for an election at the moment, and then they bring that kind of picture up, right? The point is to say, okay, this person is not fit to be the president because he's sick, right? That's malinformation because of the intent.
No. That's disinformation. Disinformation is when the actors intentionally share false narratives. So with AI that is fast growing in the world now, that you see more of deep fakes. We call it deep fakes. That is when this type of things happen, where they put
someone's head
Elon Musk's head on somebody's body and say he said it, or they just use one of the videos of Elon Musk and change the speech pattern and say Elon Musk is talking about Nigeria. He's saying
so
that
it's just like there's a little truth in it.
For disinformation.
No, for malinformation. That's what we're talking about, right?
Okay, no. let me go over it one more time. Misinformation, as I explained before, is when the actors share information without the intent of misleading or doing anything of that sort. Then, and disinformation is the opposite of that, is when you intentionally do that. You intentionally send a message and say, Tinubu said he's going to give money to Nigerians tomorrow. You forward it
like
to
those
groups.
links that we used to see on WhatsApp.
and phishing scams.
Yes.
People send that intentionally to mislead you to do this and that.
And you end up paying.
Intentionally. And sometimes disinformation is what leads to misinformation, because this actor did this and he sent it to innocent people, and because they believe that, I shouldn't just benefit, let me send to others. Yeah, that's where misinformation now comes from.
Okay.
But then malinformation is quite different from this one. Is when it private, and it works more with politics, when something that is supposed to be private is brought out to the public.
Like someone else's record, for example, being brought out to the public. To
tell these people that, Tinubu is doing this. And it's true, actually. It's true. This time around, it's true. But you brought it out to a space where it is not supposed to be brought to. And then you say this about this person so that you make people think that he's a bad person, or you make him, like, I'm using Tinubu as an example now. You make them feel like he's not doing what he's supposed to do and all of that. So that is malinformation.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so let's move straight to the history. So back then in the ancient times, information disorder started, like, it's the whole misinformation, disinformation and malinformation all started in like a propaganda in both in the religious aspects and the political and social communities. So this whole thing, people started sharing information without fact checking. You see people sending, just like the way you've explained, like the differences between these three segments. So now let's move straight up to the 2016 US election. That was where the whole fake news thing started. And we also have stories of Ebola and COVID-19. But let's still dwell on the Ebola. Like, I can remember when Ebola came out, you mentioned the salt and water thing, and I was just like, I can't wait to get there. A lot of people actually used salt and water to bathe, and it was not a funny experience. It landed some people actually in the hospital, and we also had record of deaths as well. So it was not really a very, very funny matter. And recently, I think UNESCO just released an information concerning this whole fact-checking thing, that there are people, especially in the social media space, because we have the traditional media, that's the radio and TV and the print media, which has actually expanded. And social media is now here to stay, that every generation is now using it. So now we saw that social media people, content creators, are now dishing out information without even fact-checking. So UNESCO has said it that 62% of these people are the social media digital content creators, and they're just giving out information without fact checking. Yeah,
like, again, on this salt and water thing, because for me it's one that had a great impact, because if you look at the numbers, right, there were 2 deaths from the salt and water thing, and then attached to that particular message, and then there are just 8 people that died from Ebola. At the end of the day, that's showing that it might look minute, right? Yeah. But then it had a very great impact. So what are the impacts of having this kind of disorder in our environment today?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I must admit that I also use salt.
No, you're not alone. Trust me.
You're not alone. Don't worry.
Admit.
Paul also joined you. Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you not?
Well, let us continue.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's very easy for us to detect what the impacts are. Yeah. When we talk about this COVID-19, sorry, I said COVID-19, Ebola period.
But even COVID-19,
COVID-19 is part of it. Yeah. From Ebola period, you could see that lots of people died as a result of that. They died, and people kept on sharing this information. Yes. Till date, I know of people that still believe that salt and water worked for them. I know old women
salt and water.
Yes, they believe that it worked for them. That was why. Because I have this particular lady close to our family house where that did the same thing. She was one that made all of us do it. Use the salt and water, and she was saying that her neighbor died because of this thing, Ebola, and it was because the person refused. That was years after, not even that year. And she was saying that, this person died. It could be that he died because of this Ebola, but thank God she did this and she's safe now. So things like this would make people lose trust in the truth. They don't even know what the truth is anymore.
Exactly.
They don't know what the
Yes.
truth is anymore. I'll give an instance because I have done stories around communities
Okay.
trying to focus on climate, mis and disinformation,
Okay.
just trying to see how the things that people think about misinformation around climate. And when you go to these communities, you see that efforts are being made actually to curtail the spread of false information. But people in these communities don't even know, they barely know about these things.
Wow.
And then with this type of information, some of them have access to phones. They have access to these small smartphones and they get this information. And some of them spread it to people that don't have it. So the space continues to increase. The impact there is that the space continues to increase for disinformation and misinformation. People are still misinformed.
Yeah.
And then the access to truth is continuing to reduce. It reduces as time goes on. So it is now left for us to focus on how we are going to work towards reducing the impact of mis and disinformation.
Exactly. I'm very sure that these days people don't even know what to believe, and it's very sad. But we're going on a short break now. And once we return, we'll talk about ways that we can help in reducing all of these things that are moving around, that are flying around, and also tell us more about fact checking. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, let's face it, our world today experiences numerous challenges. And guess what? Our community isn't off the hook either. Most of the world issues are either not talked about enough or never talked about at all. But here on Timeline, we've got you covered. We dive deep into issues that affect us every day, leaving behind footprints of wisdom, knowledge, and solutions. Think of it like a roadmap that keeps you on the track for success. So buckle up, because in this new season of Timeline, we're taking another trip through the past, the present, and navigate into a more promising future. Again, we're talking solutions, people. And let's make one thing clear. This is not your average blah, blah, blah convo. This is real talk with a side of inspiration and a sprinkle of wow. I never thought about it like that. I'm your host on this impactful ride. Together, we'll tackle the tough stuff, laugh a little, and find ourselves on the path to positive change. So what are you waiting for? Season 2 of Timeline will be loaded. Let's get started. Hop in, and let's drive straight into the hearts of issues shaping our world. Let's go. Oh, one more thing. Hit that subscribe button and let's take this ride together. Every day, amazing stories of hope and tenacity unfold across the globe. On Hued Hour, we dive into these inspiring tales and discuss the vital work being done in the humanitarian and development space. Humanity has never faced a shortage of challenges, yet we rise stronger through teamwork and determination. Though these remedies are often underreported, on Hued Hour, we advocate sustainable solutions. We bring you the latest and most impactful news on how lives are being changed. We engage with young change makers and experts who provide valuable insights into relief efforts and the challenges faced by local communities through a global perspective. Join us every Wednesday by 8 a.m. on Hued Network's YouTube channel as we embark on this journey of positive change.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's still Timeline, and we've been talking and trying to dissect and also know the difference between information disorder. And I'll tell you for the fact that even experts at it still argue about all of this, which is which, trying to differentiate between this one is misinformation, that one is malinformation, all those kind of things, right? And again, I'm not here alone to do that. I have Joan in the building, and I also have Rejoice. I like that name. So
you don't like my own name?
no, again, but your name doesn't make me sound like Joan, but it sounds like Rejoice. Like, why won't you smile?
Yeah. Today is for me.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Now
today
my
is for you,
support.
yes. So talking about strategies now to help curb information disorder, we have Fact Check Africa that help in creating a curriculum that can be kept into the university system to educate people on how to go about fact checking and things like that. So how, from your point of view now, how do you think that things like this will help in curbing information from our environment today?
Yeah. Thank you. It all goes back to education, educating people. It's not all about having an organization, organizing trainings just for journalists
experts,
and fact
Yeah.
experts. It's also for us to extend it to hard to reach communities, people that don't even know about these things. They could just hear something now and they believe it for the rest of their lives. And that is how it is going to be unless someone comes out and tells them this is what this is and this is why it is this way. So it all goes back to education. I know that organizations like Dubawa have started going to secondary schools, have started going to communities and universities to train students, train the younger ones to understand what fact checking is. And I see that they even want to make it more fun by introducing games, introducing sports or something that just has to do with fact checking, but then is educating the children to know what this is so that tomorrow when they go out because everybody has access to phones now. All these little children, you see them with iPads. So when they see this type of information anywhere, they would know what this is, how this is, like deep fakes now. Deep fakes are on an increase every day. They are
getting better every
I think
day.
the fact check that I do mostly from August till now, I've seen more than 50 deep fakes.
Interesting.
On Facebook, and Facebook, we have people in Nigeria, many people from Nigeria use Facebook. The older generation use Facebook. They understand Facebook more than any other platform. So the actors are not dumb. They know what they are doing. So they go to these platforms and they share deep fakes. And then educating people on how this is, how they should use these tools. They are very simple tools that you could just use on your phone. Put this picture or this video to check if it is a real video or a fake one. So educating people with this type of skills and tools will help them understand what it is. And for communities as well, even for people that don't have access to phones, it will help them have questions in their heads. There will always be a question mark. Next time when I see this thing, I'll be skeptical. Is this true? Is this really true? I have to find out.
Yeah, this brings me to my next
But
question
again,
now.
before we move to that, what are these tools that can help us to detect that, okay, this picture is deep fake? Because I remember there was this time on Twitter for X now, right? There was this picture of someone and there was a lot of cash that was as tall as a table in front of him. And then the next moment, I saw this same picture again. And so this person without the cash just sitting down, and then they were like, oh, that picture with the cash in front of him was fake. And then Twitter does this thing that they have community notes, and it just kept on that, okay, this one is fake, the other one is real. So what are these tools that we can use as you mentioned that there are tools on our phone that we can use to actually identify all of these deep fakes. Can you give us examples of some of these tools? Yes.
So for these deep fakes, I have two easy ones, the one you can access without paying money. There's Invid, that is very popular. Invid is also, it has its own paid version, but then there's a version of Invid that you can use to magnify your image, analyze your image, check it for any distortion or anything that someone has done to that picture that is not what it was before. You find it when you use it on Invid. So Invid has different features. If you just check Invid, and it works for Invid, unfortunately, it works more on your laptop. Yeah, if you use your phone, you wouldn't get what you want. So it's an extension of Google. You just put it there. You search Google, you download it. It's there, and then it helps you with Google Advanced Search. It helps you to link your search to Google Lens. And then let's focus on the deep fake. You have features on the app that you can use to detect when an image is altered. But then the easy one is there. It's called deepware.ai. That one, deepware.ai. You can use it on your phone. You just put the picture there. If it's a video on Twitter, you download it, or you can add a link of the video there. And then it runs the search for you, and it gives you the detections of what it's deduced from the video. It gives you the light is too much here, the color here, there's this pattern on this person's face that is not there. So then altogether, when it gives you all of that, then it tells you that this is not a realistic picture, or this is fake.
Okay, so this brings my next question now. The average literate in, like, maybe in rural areas or anywhere, the average person, that have access to phones, how can they check if this information they just received is fake or is real?
Yeah, so I'll still use Dubai as an example, because they are the organization that are currently going to communities. So what they do is, when they go to this community, they have a bot. There's a chat bot they created, and an AI tool that they created for people to access fact checks, to submit claims, and also to check if an information is true or not. So what they do is, when they go, they teach you how to use that AI tool, or they teach you how to send the claim to them. They create a WhatsApp group for you. You put it there and you send it to them. If you cannot use the tool, they'll teach you. But then if you're trying to catch up, but then you still want to keep in touch in case you see anything false or something you're skeptical about and you want them to search for you. So you send it to them, and they find it for you. But then they give you the basic training for how to detect misinformation and disinformation, and advise you to be current with everything that's happening in your country, Nigeria, Africa, so that you know.
Again, on today now, I think the major source of fake news is actually the social media. With over 64% of users of social media have actually encountered misinformation, or let me just categorize it generally as information disorder through social media. How can our traditional media now, that's talking about the print media, the televisions and also radios, how can it tackle all of these things? How can it tackle this misinformation that exists already in the public?
Yeah, I will still go back to educating, and then getting access to these same tools. I think there are many people working in the radio that we did a fellowship with, and they were asking the same question: how do we do this? We don't even write. How are we going to do? How would we do
how
this?
How we tackle these people that always write, and they write it's more like they reel out these things every 1 hour, every 2 hours, every 30 minutes, that kind of thing. And usually, once someone posts it, right, there's other people begins to post, share, and then not even share, like you'll just share their own version of that person. It's the same story, right? But they are sharing it in different forms.
Yes, different forms. So radio stations, they ask this question, and is just left for it. I mean, it's a lot of work for you to see this information, have to fact check it before you go back to your radio and start telling them that this is what this one said and this is what you should do.
In fact, even for radio now, for example, someone might hear this is what this one said and take it as truth, not even hear the remaining part.
Yeah. But then for now, that is what I know that the people in radio and TV are doing. But then subsequently, more changes will come. And there are tools for radio. I think CGI created a tool for radio that reduces the stress of having to write a whole long fact check and reduce
Yeah.
it to your program and say, oh, this happened.
that has
Yeah.
been nice.
So there are tools also that people are creating. International organizations working with these fact-checking organizations are also working towards making this easier for the people of print, the people of radio to have.
Okay, yeah. So
this
what's like the
information
line between media regulation and censorship? Like these big tech companies like Facebook, X, Instagram. What do you think they should do like to navigate this?
Oh, I think they're already doing something.
Okay.
Like for Facebook, all Meta platforms, they are working together with organizations. I'm currently on a contract with Duba, and I focus on writing fact checks around Meta, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, WhatsApp, any false information. So when they are working together with organizations to tag false informations and withdraw them from these social media platforms like Facebook. Because like I mentioned earlier, Facebook, they focus so much on Facebook because they know of the population in Africa and Nigeria.
So wait, how swift is this action? How swift is it?
I can't say, but I know it really works on Facebook.
Okay.
Because sometimes when I'm searching for claims to fact check and I go to Facebook and I see this thing that looks suspicious and I click on it, I see it's written there. Yes, this is fake information. So you are viewing it at your own risk. It's already fake. Don't believe it. And they give you the reasons why, and they give you the link of the organization that published that report. Then you read it to see why they say it's false. But if you choose to believe that information,
it's on you.
Yeah, it's on you. So Meta are really doing a lot, and they are trying their best to see how they can do more to stop the spread of information, to cleanse the information ecosystem. But for X, I don't know what Elon Musk is doing. Sincerely, the app is messed up, and I just hope he does something about it because X, since he bought X and he started using it, I don't know.
There has not been really regulations around.
Yes, and people have been spreading false information, and it's not just about Africa now. So there's an extended part to this information disorder thing, and it now has to do with foreign influence, where people from different countries are spreading false information about Nigeria. So that's an expanded part of it. And then apps like X are making it
Easier.
grow more easier because he's not really doing anything about it. So you see these people pushing narratives, you see, and for is another different discussion. But for foreign, they call it foreign information influence and manipulation. For that type, they could pay influencers.
Yeah, actually.
They pay influencers. There are some influencers you see from Lagos that would just be posting normally, but then at a particular point in time, you see that their contents change and they start posting things about Russia. They start posting things about how Nigeria is this, how Tinubu is doing this, talking about and comparing Nigeria with other countries.
Sabotaging their own country.
Other countries or other actors from the international atmosphere come and pay these influencers to do these things. So when Elon Musk is not doing anything, that's how it will continue to grow. I currently have an investigation. We're working on FIMI as well, and I'm focusing on an account. We know the Alliance of the Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali. These three countries are under the military now, currently. So there's this particular account that has been posting things about Nigeria's failure, or the person would from Mali and in French. But I have been translating and I've been following the account.
Wow.
This account would start sharing things about Tinubu. Tinubu is going to die next year. He's sick. He has this problem with his liver. He went to UK, or you fabricate a picture and put it. So accounts like this, you wouldn't know because we don't understand French. They are spreading false narrative. And now checking the connection of these accounts to Nigeria, we see other Nigerians, like the influencers that I mentioned, are also following these accounts and are also sharing this type of narratives. And this is happening on X. And these accounts are growing. For this particular account I'm talking about, the account was just created in 2023. That's enough to make it suspicious.
Yeah.
That's enough to make it suspicious.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, from the period when Nigerians started raising the Russian flag, the account became so interested in the affairs of Nigeria, sharing things about, Boko Haram just attacked Abia State. Where is the Boko Haram? Use an old picture out of context to talk about something that is not really happening. And you are not in Nigeria, you are in Mali.
So what kind of disorder is this particular one now?
Yeah, this is disinformation. Disinformation because is intentional.
Yes.
And is a suspected FIMI case because as this account is posting false things about Nigeria, that same account is also talking about Russia, how Russia has influenced these countries, that's Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali to be great. And then Tinubu is failing, all this that is happening in Nigeria. So they try to combine that and insinuating that Nigeria should also learn from Russia and allow that. So in other words, they are trying to say that we should also accept military rule. And it starts from there. You think that it's small. You think it's meaningless. It's a Mali account. It doesn't matter. But then what about the account? What about the accounts that
are following it?
That for the Nigerians that are posting the Russian narrative. It's all linked. What about the people that raised the flags?
I know, right?
Should we let it?
Actually, there are a lot of questions to be asked. Actually, and I want you to. Like on a final note now, what do you think government should do about it? One and again, what do you feel that can be done to ensure that we have a safe space, a safe ecosystem now for the distribution of information?
Yeah, the government should not be adamant and they should collaborate with the media, journalists, fact checkers to also ensure that the information space is cleansed, it's clear, and we learn to go for the truth. Because at the end of the day, these people use them to spread the false narratives. They say things about that Tinubu did not say. We might not like him, but it's still on him. When somebody says it's about you, they say you do this, you do that, you do this. So it all goes back to collaborating with them and learning about fact-checking, about the importance, because disinformation is growing. Like I said, when we started, it's even more than misinformation. It's growing, it's extending. And if we don't put hands together and on deck to curtail this problem, it will keep growing.
Gone are the days when we've moved from the traditional media, that's the radio, the TV, where you just have to get pure news from the radio or the TV. But now, social media has actually, it's just like a two-edged sword. You are using it to defend yourself and you're still using it to kill yourself. So I just feel that on my own notes for recommendation, let these actors be brought to book. Like I feel I just so much believe in the judicial system that one day something will be good. Like let these people come to book and they should be punished.
But you don't get to see them.
Exactly.
Well,
on social media.
It's social media, but I think with the help of, there is a case of you can now trace people when they say things and you bring them down.
But the thing is, they are smarter than that is why we are emphasizing on people knowing more about technology. I went for a training in Lagos State and they came from the US, the African Center for Strategic Studies. And there were lots of things that I was just looking at them like, what is happening here? Teaching us how to hack accounts, how people could hack your account, how they can spread information and stay like anonymous. You wouldn't know who this person is. Kuli Adebajo, a journalist that worked with Human Angle, did an investigation about someone anonymous that was posting that. But then till now, we don't know who the person is. The person is anonymous. They can post things and you wouldn't know. This person I was talking about from Mali, it just puts a name and a picture, but it could be that it's not them. They just put a picture there. And they are very smart. They have pool of account. That is why they said when you are when you are because when you are checking them, they know you are seeing them. Like on X, that is why they say you should create like new accounts. We call it sock puppet accounts. You create an account with an address and a number that they will not detect, because when you are watching them, they are watching
you as well.
For these accounts, sorry, I'll give an instance.
Wow.
For these accounts that I told you from Malia that I am
We are working on
Tracking.
now.
I'm
Yeah.
working on. The first time I used my X accounts to check what is going on. Why is this? Because I've done like 2 fact checks and I was noticing some patterns. So I said, let me check. When I checked, I started seeing Russian accounts and different people following me on Twitter. At first I was like, who is this? Well, what is this? Maybe it's just so. They have bots, they have accounts they create, and they are watching you. When you check their account, they see that you are checking too much. What is this one looking for here? They follow you back to check you. Now they check, and if they see I'm a fact checker, they'll keep their eyes on me. So they will know more about me
So it's more like
than I know
your
about
enemies and then keep your enemies close.
Yes, Russia, Ukraine, wherever it is you're
That
coming
makes
from.
sense to say I cover you with the blood of Jesus.
Yes, I became scared actually. When I saw it at first, I was like, oh, maybe they're just interested in knowing who rejoices. But then it became too frequent.
deeper
And
than that.
it took me back to the time we had that training in Lagos when they said you should create a sock puppet account. Don't let anyone trace you because they are watching. And in like 30 minutes, I had like 50 followers on X, and I don't have that much followers.
No.
And at like within a very short period of time, if they finish what they are doing or they see that you stop checking them, you see the account start
Dropping.
dropping. They unfollow you. It's just some crazy account. You see someone on bikini on a picture does not have any followers, 0 followers, like just an empty account, just trying to observe what you are doing. So it took me back to the trading we had the other time. I just created another account to continue where nobody will know anything about me. I'm not even putting my location as Nigeria. I'm putting it Ukraine, US or something.
That's actually very wise.
Yes. So
I feel like it's not just the government has a role to play in this. We also as individuals also have roles to play in this. It's nice if we could spot out those that are spreading all of this disinformation, right? So that because without disinformation, it can be misinformation. And hopefully we're able to get to a place where our ecosystem for information is safe. That's all we'll be able to take today on Timeline. My name remains Paul, and with me here is
John, is it?
and also we have
rejoice, steady.
yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also comment. Let's also get your opinion on this particular subject matter. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.